According to the New York Times, U.S. gasoline prices have skyrocketed 27% since the start of the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran.
I don't understand. What happened to gas prices? 2 weeks ago, gas was $2, and today gas is $4.
The war in Iran is already hitting some of Americans' pockets, and you guessed it, it all has to do with gasoline.
Seeing gas prices makes me irrationally angry, and
Bro, is my eyes deceiving me? $6 for gas, bro? When the fuck did it become $6 for gas? Like, this is insane, bro. $6. I mean, sure, I'm using premium, but still, they like what? 5.7, $5.99, bro. $6. That's fucking crazy, man. Oh my goodness, bro. Bruh, California gas prices are ridiculous, man. This don't make no goddamn sense. Bruh, look at this shit. That's California gas right now, bruh. I just paid $6.1 per gallon, man. And then keep in mind, I got chargers, but I ain't worried about that. I'm just saying, goddamn, $6 fucking for gas is absolutely insane, bro. Man, is this my receipt? I don't even want this shit if it is, man. That's crazy. All this car shit, man, y'all love trying to just take our pockets, bro, and just break them every way that y'all can, man. Bro, $6 for gas is absolutely diabolical, California. Do better.
One thing that just shocks me is the price of gas in California. In Texas, we pay about 50% less for a gallon of gas. Here it is a whopping $5.70 a gallon.
That was how much gas you had pumped. That was showing you that you had pumped 5.7 gallons of gas. See, the money part of the little equation there is on the top of the screen, next to the dollar sign that's pretty big. And some simple division would say that you're paying about $4.46 a gallon, give or take. So you just have to know what part of the screen you're... You know what? You're right. You're right. It's crazy out here. I wouldn't come to California if I were you. I would go right back to Texas and stay there if I were you. Because, you know, it's crazy out here in California. Yikes.
My gas has went up 80 cents in a week. You and I both. Let me tell you, the strait, that's what's happening is the Strait of Hormuz is closed, or damn near about closed, right? It's being strangled with the war that Israel and the United States started. You know what I'm saying? Because of that war, the ships that send the oil out of the Persian Gulf cannot pass. A lot of them are getting bombarded, and rockets and all types of grenades launching on them. You know what I'm saying? So because of that shortage, the increased gas prices are increasing, and it will keep going up until the war ends. And as far as I see it, I don't see an end in sight. They're going to keep increasing the gas prices, and with gas prices increase, food will increase, your electric bill will go up, everything to do with your car, everything to do with your life will increase behind that, okay? This is what Trump supporters wanted. This is what they got. They did this. The least they could do is help out a non-Trump supporter like myself. If you see one of us at the pump struggling to buy gas, the least one of those MAGAs could do is take your red hat off, put your pride in your back pocket, man up, admit you were wrong, help people out. Admit you were wrong, help people out, okay? MAGAs. Retribution, it's on you. You did this to society. You know what I'm saying? So the least you could do is start helping to repay your debt to society. Everything will increase. Everything. And it's going to last for a long time. Regardless of this. First they said, oh, we're going to be there. We're ahead of schedule. We were supposed to kill the Ayatollah in 4 weeks. We did it in under an hour. Now they said 4 weeks. Now they said, well, we probably need ground troops. Now they do not know what they're doing. And because of this ignorance, the American population and other countries in the world that depend on the Strait of Hormuz, have oil shipped to their nations, will suffer tremendously. You know what I'm saying? In what is, I call it an illegal war, because it wasn't approved by the United States Congress. So that means the American public did not approve this war. Donald Trump and MAGA approved this war. All right? The American public is represented by Congress. Congress didn't approve it. This is what they wanted.
The war in Iran is already hitting some of Americans' pockets, and you guessed it, it all has to do with gasoline. Since Friday, the national average price of gas has jumped 22 cents to about $3.59 a gallon. But some states are getting hit way harder than others. Utah saw the biggest spike, with gas rising there about 14%, and then states like Michigan, Colorado, New Hampshire, and Tennessee have seen increases above 8%. But then you have other states in the Midwest and Plains like South Dakota, Minnesota, and Kansas that have barely moved. Obviously, the difference here is based on local supply, refineries, and regulations. It's very state dependent, which is why California tends to have the highest prices. Right now, it's at $5.29 a gallon, while Kansas is the cheapest at just under $3. So these are the current moves so far. Obviously, it's a very volatile and choppy situation. In the meantime, stay up to date with the markets, with news, so you know what to expect instead of just getting to the gas station and being shocked at what you're paying.
Now, all of a sudden, all of these experts and CNBC analysts want to tell us that, oh, Trump is raising the gas prices because of the attacks on Iran, cutting off the Strait of Hormuz so none of the ships could get through. Meanwhile, under Biden, we had higher gas prices than we do right now, and there was no war. Make it make sense.
Wow, Miss Kathy, this is embarrassing. Okay. Miss Kathy, you can't think of any wars that happened while Joe Biden was president? I'll give you a hint. It was a war that you guys complained about endlessly, even though Joe Biden had nothing to do with it starting. Nothing coming to mind? Let's take a look at these gas prices, Miss Kathy. You see where that peak is right there? Well, in February of 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and that threw a giant wrench into the global oil market. Now, on top of that, it was a supply and demand issue. Miss Kathy, do you remember when COVID happened and all the countries of the world shut down and everybody stopped driving to work? Well, during that time, the oil companies ramped down oil production because nobody was buying oil. Then fast forward, the vaccine comes out and all the countries of the world open back up and everybody starts driving to work again. And when that happened, the demand for oil skyrocketed. And as most of us learned as children, Miss Kathy, what happens when there's low supply and high demand? Yeah, prices go up. So COVID combined with Russia's war on Ukraine is why gasoline got so expensive in 2022. And at this point, Miss Kathy, both Trump and Caroline Leavitt have admitted that the reason gasoline jacked up in price the last few days is because of his war in Iran. It seems like you're the only person who doesn't understand that. So some advice, Miss Kathy, if you'd like to stop embarrassing yourself on here, perhaps stop yelling at experts and try listening to them. And then maybe one day you'll have a better understanding of the world that you live in, okay? All right, good luck.
Gas prices are out of control, and I just got the new list of the 5 worst states where the prices are highest right now. Make sure to hit like and subscribe so you never miss my money-saving alerts. California is paying the most in the country. The average price now $5.41 a gallon. That's up 79 cents since January, a 17% jump in just a couple of months. Hawaii is next at $4.84 a gallon. Then you've got Washington State, where drivers are paying about $4.76 a gallon. That's up nearly 7%. In Nevada, the average price is $4.44. That's one of the biggest jumps in the country, up 64 cents, nearly 17% since January. And rounding out the top 5 is Oregon, where drivers are paying $4.33 a gallon, also up around 17%. So how do you fight back? First, sign up for the gas station rewards programs where you fill up most often. A lot of drivers skip that. It can knock several cents off every gallon. Next, use free apps like Upside and Gas Buddy, which give you cash back every time you fill up. Gas Buddy is actually my favorite because they also have a credit card that lets you stack those savings, so you're getting the rewards plus additional discounts, cash back on top of that.
This is crazy. This is even crazier. Just take Donald Trump. We don't need him. That's who you want. Just take him. We'll give him up rightfully because this is not it. We don't want this.
In this video, our gas prices were $2.86 per gallon when I filled up 6 days ago. We are at Hy-Vee again. We're gonna fill up. So we are at $3.59. Full disclosure, I probably won't let it fill all the way because it's really, really, really cold. We're going up, up, up. Sadly, I didn't have any perks to use, so I'm not getting any cents off per gallon today. And I feel like the gas prices are only going to continue to rise and rise and rise considering everything that's going on. What I remember during COVID times, our gas was around like $4.19 maybe, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we got there. And I only fill up with like the cheapest one. I really don't know how many people actually pay more and get the pricier gases. My hands are literally shaking. I'm so cold. It was supposed to be nice today. We're gonna stop it at $30 if we can. And just kidding, I couldn't get the handle to stop. Let's see where we're at. $31.52. We got like 8.5 gallons. Continue letting me know what your gas prices are, what they have been, how quickly they're jumping. I find it interesting, like paying attention and watching things like that, so it's interesting to see how the prices vary across states, cities, and everything like that. The price like all depends on where you live and the cost of living in your area. So of course gas prices are going to be way more expensive in places like New York and California because the cost of living is higher there. Let's see where $31 got us. We got up to 229 miles. And I was down to a little under 40.
So the U.S. may lift oil sanctions on Iran to somehow hurt them. I'm going to explain to you why this is probably the dumbest idea we've heard out of this administration yet regarding, and also how it shows how desperate they are. So there's 140 million barrels of oil on tankers from Iran headed to China. And our genius energy secretary and Scott Bessent says if we just lift those sanctions, that oil will go somewhere else. And Iran won't even get paid for it. Iran doesn't own that oil anymore. Yeah, it's kind of how it works. Iran sold that oil to China. That's now China's oil. If it is to be diverted or redirected to another country, it would be because China would then take their oil and decide to sell it to another country for a profit, like flipping it. China would receive the funds for the oil they flipped and pay off Iran their share, and that would be the end of it. But China has stopped all exports, which is why those countries in Asia need oil, because they can't get it from China anymore. So the U.S. thinks that if we just lift sanctions, China will just magically say, you know what? Let's just give it to South Korea. No impact on oil prices. No impact to Iran whatsoever. And they know it won't work. They just have to keep you believing they have a good idea because they know that you will. Thanks.
Horrendous news for Donald Trump, who is taking the sole blame for lighting the U.S. economy on fire right now, as the CEO of United Airlines has announced that United is preparing for the possibility of oil to stay at $175 per barrel until at the earliest late 2027, where it could go back to $100 a barrel as a result of Trump's war with Iran. Take a look. This is from United. It says they are planning for fuel to be higher for longer. Our plans assume oil goes to $175 per barrel and doesn't get back to $100 a barrel until the end of 2027. They go on to say that it's a good chance it won't be that bad, but they are trying to hedge their bets and make sure they plan accordingly, especially considering that this war doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. Donald Trump just sent an additional 2,500 Marines from San Diego to Iran, and don't think it's deja vu because he already sent 2,500 Marines earlier this week. There are more Marines now joining the war effort and potentially to be deployed for a ground invasion.
America, I need to know, what are gas prices in your town? Toronto Dump just posted that gasoline just broke $1.98 a gallon, lowest in years. In my neck of the woods, however, gas is $3.56 a gallon and premium is $4 per gallon. I digress. He goes on to say groceries and eggs, because groceries doesn't actually include eggs, they're a separate category, are down. And what I think he means by down is demand is down because nobody can afford them anymore. Energy down, mortgage rates down, employment strong, and much more good news as capital B billions of capital D dollars pour in from capital T tariffs, just like I said. And we're only in a transition stage. We're only in a transition stage. Gotta yell it. Just getting started, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Consumers have been waiting for years to see pricing come down. No inflation, the Fed should lower its rate, and he signs it with his initials, as boomers do, DJT.
How much is gas where you live? I live in Washington State, and it just went up $1 a gallon last week. So now we're paying $4.29 a gallon, maybe almost $4.50 a gallon at some gas stations. Wondering how much does it cost where you live?
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you, I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast. But here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money. And then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long and oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
I don't understand. What happened to gas prices? 2 weeks ago, gas was $2, and today gas is $4. You guys, did gasoline go to college and come back with a master's degree in pricing? Oh my God! I came to get gas, and the pump is looking at me like a bank loan officer, asking questions like, say, are you ready for these financial decisions? What is going on here? Look at gas prices. What is going on here? How are we going to survive? Driving in America is now luxury. Oh my God. How are we going to survive here? How? $4? Oh my God. Oh my God. $4, guys. $4? I can't move. I can't move.
We have some news right now. The average price of a gallon of gas in the United States has hit $3.70. Now the highest in nearly 1 year since April 2024 because of the war in Iran. Gas prices are only set to continue to rise, which means jet fuel prices are set to continue to rise, which means it's going to be more expensive to drive a car, it's going to be more expensive to buy a plane ticket, and much more. But that's not all. Donald Trump, over the past 24 hours, has been publicly urging America's allies and adversaries, folks like China, France, Britain, and more, to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz, to unblock the Strait of Hormuz and allow oil to pass through. Has he gotten any responses yet? The answer is no. And the responses that he has gotten from places like Japan, they say there are going to be major hurdles to make that even happen. It's not going to happen. As always, spread the word. Link in bio to my Substack. Subscribe for free to support my work. And as always, follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
Hey, what's up, America? I want to show you how bad gas prices are getting here in America. In some locations, you would expect this. So this was an image taken in Southern California, from what I understand. And those gas prices look about, what you would expect. Now, this is from a Shell gas station in Alaska. You can see the prices are pretty high up there. This is another image from California, which I don't care if it is California. This is fucking unacceptable. Now, I've seen this from time to time where gas stations have simply turned off the sign, so you don't know the price till you get there. Here's gas prices in San Francisco, out in California. Here's gas prices at a Wawa, $4.69 a gallon. Yeah, at least diesel's cheaper. Now here's another station that we're seeing gas prices creeping up again. However, these are prices from out in Colorado. Look at that. Here's California again, right around $6 a gallon, give or take. Now, I've seen this. I highly doubt this is real. This is probably some type of situation where there's a malfunction, I would assume. Well, I don't know, because here's another one. Have you seen this shit? Because that seems ridiculous. Here's out in Oregon. It's about average, I would assume, out there. This is Orange County, California, yesterday. Now here's from Jacksonville, Florida, which that's kind of high. Same here, Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville, Florida once again. I thought this was weird. Regular, plus, and then super. Super was less expensive than the plus. Here's down in Miami, $3.59 a gallon, $4.89 for diesel. Now, I just want to put this out here as an example. This was 2 months before the war in Iran and Texas. $1.77 a gallon. Look at that. So we really need gas prices to come down because, as you know, as long as diesel prices in particular are super high, prices for other shit you buy will be super high. Because most transport uses diesel fuel in America. But I'd like to get gas prices and just energy prices in general down because this is fucking ridiculous. You do realize that oil's the second most abundant liquid on Earth after fucking water. So this shouldn't be rocket science. Gasoline should be 30 cents a gallon, rocketing up to 50 cents a gallon because of the war. This is fucking stupid and nothing but price gouging. Fuck you.
Seeing gas prices makes me irrationally angry, and it's not necessarily because of the price, even though that sucks. It's because of what the price represents. Because we told you that this man who ran on gas prices being lower, grocery prices being lower, inflation being lower, the economy being better, no wars. We told you he was lying. We told you he was going to bamboozle you. And he did. And I don't even feel happy saying I told you so, because we all lose. We're all losing. Because you believed a con man. Because you blindly followed a proven con man. And you're still blindly following him. So every time I see it, it just makes my blood curdle. Because I'm like, you told me. You told me that there was going to be lower gas prices. You told me that I was a snowflake and a lot of other things because I didn't believe him when he said that. Because I knew that wasn't going to happen. And now they're even higher directly because of him. And so, again, it's not in I told you so, but I told you so. I told you. And I'm mad because you promised me. You promised me that Donald Trump was going to wave a magic wand and everything was going to be great. And we knew that wasn't going to happen, and you didn't listen. So, thanks a lot.
Are you ready for those gas prices to increase some more? Check this out. A U.S.-owned oil tanker targeted in the Strait of Hormuz, one of several attacked by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The devastation caused to the vessels, which can hold up to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of crude, was clear to sea. Since the start of the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran just over 2 weeks ago, 500 tankers have been stuck in the Strait, one of the world's most dangerous standoffs.
I just recently paid $6 a gallon at Chevron here in California, and there's some places in California where it's even higher than $6 a gallon. So imagine what's going to happen when summertime comes. Imagine when people want to go travel. Imagine on 4th of July weekend. Guess what's going to happen with them prices? If we're still over there fucking around with Iran and dealing with this Strait of Hormuz shit, I'm telling you right now, California, price of gas is going to hit $10 a fucking gallon. Watch.
Guys, I just pulled up to the Kroger to get a couple of things out of the store and get gas. $3 and 69 cents per gallon. Y'all, that's almost $4 a gallon. I've never in my 15 years of driving have ever seen this in my life. And I live in Tennessee. Like, this is the South, you know, technically. Why is our gas almost $4 a gallon? Like, that's like New York, LA pricing, I feel like, or like somewhere else. It's about time I get me a helmet and a little bike lock because I'm finna be riding my electric scooter everywhere. You will not see me in this car. Absolutely. $3.69, you guys? And it'll be like, what, $3.65 with my discount from Kroger? Not enough.
According to the New York Times, U.S. gasoline prices have skyrocketed 27% since the start of the U.S.-Israeli conflict with Iran. That is the biggest increase, and I believe they said it was 30 years, hitting a national average of $3.79 per gallon by mid-March 2026. And diesel has gone up even faster, 34% in that same time period. Meanwhile, grocery bills are climbing, supply chains are overstressed, and the cost of living is only going up. And let's not forget, like, didn't a lot of you vote for Trump because you wanted lower gas prices, lower grocery costs, no new wars, and oh yeah, a full release of the Epstein files. You somehow managed to excuse the racism, the sexism, the homophobia, all the phobias as a matter of fact, because of this endless list of promises that he made you, allegedly, right? So tell me, how's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? Because right now, it looks like your wish list has just been completely ignored. Unless some of y'all are ready to admit it was never about those things, was it? It was never about those promises. It was never about all of the things he said he was going to do. You were aligning yourselves with somebody who was sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, all of the other things. That's why you voted for him. Otherwise, you would no longer be aligning yourself with this administration, right? Like, right?
So I'm looking at the gas price and it was $3.18 and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll get some when it goes back down. Seen it today and it's $3.67. It was $3.18 earlier today. Should have got some. Fuck my life.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm here at a gas station on the south side of Indianapolis, and I want to show you how fucking shitty gas prices are getting. And these are actually lower prices than I've seen in the last couple of states I've been in. So you can see right there, $3.85 a gallon, $5 a gallon for diesel. I saw diesel just recently at $5.58 a gallon, and unleaded gas at $4.10 a gallon in Ohio. Like I said, this is Indiana, but prices are starting to go much higher. You can see here unleaded at $3.85, plus at $4.35, and premium at $4.85 a gallon. and this is absolutely ridiculous. Now, obviously, these prices are ridiculous, and it's going to be the downfall of any gains we've made economically. Like I said, these are cheaper prices. I saw diesel at about $5.55 a gallon and regular unleaded at $4 a gallon. So these are definitely going to go higher. And as you know today, oil prices are spiking once again, $120 plus a barrel. So we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Iran is trying to fuck with all the oil, and speculation and price gouging is out of control. At the same time, if the Iranian regime continues in its current form, it will murder probably 1 million innocent people. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how much your prices are, and do you still support the Iran war, or are you against it? And what would you do if you saw a bunch of innocent people being unalived?
Americans are on the hunt for cheap gas because of the fact that gas is now very expensive. There's lines at Costco. Some people are waiting as many as 30 minutes, and the lines are wrapping around the block. Also, people are using Gas Buddy and going out of their way to find cheaper fuel and discounts, as prices have reached nearly $4 a gallon on average. Other people are saying that they're trimming spending on grocery, takeout, and travel, so they're trying to cut back in other areas so they can afford to get to work or get to see family. Whatever they're using their gas for, they're having to cut back in other ways. What's interesting is how steep this line is right here. It just goes straight up. Consumers are more sensitive to gas prices. It is going to be a big problem for the country, and it's not going to fix itself if this war magically ended.
Top 3 reasons on why you should not come to California, bro. Yo, just peep how much breach they got us spending on gas, bro. Look at this, gang. It cost me normally $35 to fill up. We're well over that. Well over that. Mind you, I get like maybe like 425 miles, right? On like a $35 fill up, like full fill up, 425 miles. Let's just see how much it's gonna get me, bro. Don't even bother coming to California, gang. Just stay where you at, bro. If you're not in Cali, stay where you at. If you're in Cali, leave, bro. I'm out. Yo, I'm gone, buddy. All that for a total of 431 miles.
Southern California, like $8 a gallon. I'm doing my part. Scooter. I'm paying $8 a gallon. Chance I get, I'm riding the scooter. Like,
we should all do what J.D. Vance did a couple of days ago in Michigan when he was speaking at a rally. He was asked about gas prices, and he didn't deny it. He said, gas prices are up. We have a solution, and this is going to be a short-term problem because we're going to fix it relatively quick. Trust me when I say that if you're in denial and acting like the economy isn't a problem, most people know that you're lying. 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck, and the average first-time home buyer is 40 years old. So trust me when I say, if you try to spin this and act like we have a thriving economy, people know that you're lying. According to the United States intelligence, Iran has the capability of closing and shutting down the Strait of Hormuz for a maximum of 6 months. This could be a 6-month issue. The last thing people need to do is hear me and you for the next 6 months acting like we have the best economy the world has ever seen. No, we're struggling right now. I'm in Tampa, Florida. I saw gas prices 3 weeks ago go from $2.75 to $3.95. And a lot of economists are projecting that inflation could get as high as 5 or 6%. It's a problem. We have a solution to the problem. And it's going to be a short-term problem because we're going to fix it very soon. Let's leave it at that.
The gas prices are as high as a fucking tree. I feel like just to fill up, I have to sell a kidney. Like what the fuck, the fucking pump is taking all my cash. I fucking cry when that little light comes on to get some gas. I stick the nozzle in the car hole, then I fucking watch as my hopes and dreams and my savings are going, gone. If this keeps up, I guess I'm fucking walking all the time. I fucking miss when gas prices were fucking too.
So our gas prices are going to surge again. Yes!
The United States and Israel just attacked a major natural gas facility in Iran, which is going to take a huge hit on Iran's economy, as well as the rest of ours. Mostly that being in the United States, Asia, and Europe. Oil barrel prices have now gone up 6%, which means the consumers are going to have to take the weight of that. And that means gas prices are going to continue soaring just like they already were. Trump's America! Wow, Trump and Netanyahu. Another egregious decision that ultimately worsens the life of really everyone. Besides Israel, though. We've just found out from a DHS whistleblower that ICE has recently changed their policy back in 2025, allowing ICE agents to enter homes without a judicial warrant. Now they're only required an administrative warrant, which is far different. That means the DHS can just write off allowing them to enter our homes without a judge's signature. And this was completely hidden from the public.